Hello everybody, welcome back to the Ultimate Fan Channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be reading a book. I know, sounding boring, but it's a Thomas book called The Snowy Special. And I'm gonna be reading this. I never read this before, so I'm gonna read it out loud for all you guys because it's kinda nice to read a book. You know, many people do not read books these days, so I thought I could mix technology with books, okay? So let me open it. Alright, so we got the first page, nothing interesting. So, ooh, nice artwork. It's some really nice artwork there. I like it. Alright, so let's start. When snow comes to Sodor, Henry was the only engine who didn't get stuck. He thought his trucks must be lucky. But how would Henry get on without his lucky trucks? I don't know. Let's continue reading. Oh, that's a nice picture of Henry there. Alright, winter had arrived on Sodor, and the island was covered with snow. The tracks were icy and slippery, and many of the lines were blocked by snowdrifts. Henry puffed happily through the snowy countryside. None of his lines were blocked. Okay. That's really cool. Alright, let's see. Henry was the first engine to arrive back at the sheds that evening. All his friends were late. Thomas rolled in next. Well done, Henry, he chuffed. You must have lucky trucks. Maybe you're right, Thomas, Henry smiled. And Henry went to sea, feeling proud of his lucky trucks. But the next morning, Henry's lucky trucks weren't in the yard. Henry gasped. Edward took the trucks, Thomas explained. He's delivering coal to the villages. The Fat Controller arrived. A delivery of presents is waiting at the airport, he told Henry. You must take a gift to all the children in the villages. Henry set off nicely, but the rails at Gordon's Hill were very slippery. Every time Henry tried to puff up the hill, he slipped back down. It took a long time to reach the top. I need my lucky trucks, Henry worried. I must find Edward right away. Henry steamed on through the snow, but soon he had to stop. Some logs had rolled off James's flatbed and were blocking Henry's way. Bust my buffers, cried Henry. This would never have happened if I had my lucky trucks. You should be at the end report, James snorted. Not without my lucky trucks, Henry replied. I must find Edward first. Come on. There you go. Henry shivered sadly while Rocky set to work clearing the track. Don't worry, Henry, Rocky rumbled. You'll soon be on your way. Rocky was right. The tracks were quickly cleared and Henry steamed away to find Edward. But everywhere that Henry shoved there were more delays. Hurry, please, Thomas, Henry wheezed. I need to find Edward and my lucky trucks. Thomas puffed as quickly as he could to clear the snow, but it was hard work. Henry had to wait. I'll never find my lucky trucks, Henry sighed. These pages are hard to turn. But at the frosty forest, Henry did find his lucky trucks, and Edward too. Henry beamed from bumper to bumper. He tried to stop, but his wheels slid on the icy turns. Henry crashed straight into the line of trucks. Bash. My lucky trucks are broken, Henry cried. I don't want to skip any pages. Henry sat sadly in the snow. He didn't want to go anywhere without his lucky trucks. But they're broken, said Edward, and the presents still need collecting. Henry thought about how sad the children would feel if they didn't have a present to open. I must get to the airport, he puffed, with or without my lucky trucks. Henry set off slowly. His wheels slipped and slid on the icy rails, but he kept going. The more Henry thought about the children, the less he thought about his lucky trucks. At last he arrived at the airport. He collected the presents and puffed away to begin his deliveries. Henry steamed all over the island until he had just one delivery left. Some children were waiting for him at the station. Hooray for Henry, they cheered. I didn't need my lucky trucks after all, Henry smiled. And then he looked at the children's smiling faces. He felt like the luckiest engine on Sodor. And that's kind of the book. And there's other activities here, like more about Henry. And there's Henry's challenge for you. And there's other things in this book too, but that's the story. And then we got this cool artwork. I really like the artwork in this book. And then here you got more recommendations. And yeah, that's the book. So, did you like me reading the story? Do you want me to read other Thomas stories? Do you want me to read other books? Let me know. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe because, I mean, it would be very nice. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, PP subs.